Jikook, a love that is no longer hidden over the years. Jimin and Jungkook, two BTS members known for being close friends, have left many fans wondering about the depth of their relationship. With sweet moments of togetherness, camera highlights that record their emotional closeness to protective attitudes towards each other, speculation about Jikook, as Jimin and Jungkook are called by fans, live on. However, lately, the conversation around the two began to lead to one big question. Is Jikook still just a friendship? Some time ago, a short video of a training event at a military camp suddenly went viral among the army. In the video, you can see the moment when Jimin swiftly envelopes Jungkook, who is sitting exhausted after training. A simple touch, yet full of meaning. Their gazes, the body language that knew each other, to the tender smiles that they only shared in that moment, made the atmosphere different. Not only that. A former HYB staff member who is now out of contract, it was once leaked to the Korean media that Jimin and Jungkook had an incredible emotional closeness even since the trainee days. They always protect each other, take care of each other, and never once let each other feel alone, the staffer said. Their solo songs, when examined more deeply, often seem to answer each other. Jungkook's Still With You and Jimin's Promise are filled with words that could be interpreted as expressions of hidden love. There is an impression that the songs are not just works of art, but open letters written to someone very close, but not yet directly named. During one of the training sessions, Jimin was caught on camera smiling slightly while listening to Jungkook sing a verse from the song, My You. And when asked to explain the meaning of the song, Jungkook simply said, "This song is for someone who makes me feel calm when the world is too noisy." The army immediately responded with a variety of theories, and most led to one name, Jimin. The most interesting thing is not what they say, but what they show. When Jimin gets a minor injury during training, Jungkook looks moody and keeps watching him from a distance. When Jungkook was under public pressure, Jimin was the first to write a letter of support. They become each other in ways that go far beyond ordinary friendship. At Jungkook's 26th birthday celebration last year, Jimin did not make a public post like the other members. However, he reportedly spent private time with Jungkook after midnight. "I don't want to share everything with the world," Jimin said in an interview. "Some things are too valuable to show on camera." Most army welcomed the possibility of a more than friendly relationship between the two with great enthusiasm. They believe that true love knows no boundaries, and if it is true that both love each other, then it is worth celebrating. But of course, there are also those who choose to remain neutral. They consider Jikook's closeness to be an exceptional form of brotherhood, which does not necessarily have to be framed in a romantic context. The true truth may only be known by Jimin and Jungkook himself. But one thing is certain, their relationship is special. Whether it's love in a romantic form or an inexplicable spiritual closeness, Jikook has shown that in a stressful world, having someone who truly knows you is everything. I asset a love that is no longer hidden. Could be, but it is also possible that this is an undeclared love because they have shown it every day in the way they laugh, in the way they are silent, and in the way they are always present for each other. The relationship between Jimin and Jungkook, or Jikook as fans nicknamed him, is not something that was created overnight. The two have gone through various phases in their lives and careers, ranging from tough trainee times to global success with BTS. Each stage of this journey is filled with small moments that, when strung together, illustrate the emotional story of two young men growing up together under the spotlight of the world. Jungkook came to Seoul from Busan at a very young age. At just 13 years old at that time, he was known as a quiet, shy, and awkward child. Jimin, who is also from Busan, joined Big Hit about a year after Jungkook, and soon noticed how the Magne was struggling to adapt. In one of the BTS documentaries, Jimin once told how Jungkook often cried secretly in the dormitory. "He doesn't want to look weak," Jimin said, "but I know what it's like to be away from home without anyone you know." One night, when rehearsals ended late and all the members were exhausted, Jimin found Jungkook speechless in the dorm kitchen. Without saying much, Jimin just hugged her from behind and said, "We'll get through this together." That moment became the beginning of their closeness, which is difficult to separate until now. When BTS debuted in 2013, they were still kids trying hard to prove they deserved to be on stage. There's a lot of pressure and criticism they face, and in every challenge, Jimin and Jungkook seem to always have a way of strengthening each other. Jungkook once said in a V-Live that Jimin was the one who made him feel the most safe. "When I was nervous about performing, Jimin Hyung would pat me on the back and say, 'Do it like during rehearsal.' I was here." And sure enough, if we look at the early recordings of BTS concerts, Jimin is often near Jungkook before or after they perform. Sometimes just give a smile, sometimes pat on the shoulder, and sometimes just stand nearby without saying anything. But Jungkook seemed to always feel enough with just that point. One of the most touching moments of Jikook happened during the world tour Love Yourself. In a documentary clip, Jimin is seen approaching Jungkook backstage after an intense performance. Jungkook, who seemed overwhelmed by the pressure, just sat on the floor with his head down. Jimin didn't say much. He just sat beside her, held Jungkook's hand, and patted her softly. As the camera crew moved away, Jungkook could be heard whispering softly, "Hyung, I can't breathe without you." The sentence was never officially clarified, but the army who had followed them for years knew that the words were not merely dramatic sentences. It was an overflow of a very deep emotional closeness, born of experience, sacrifice, and mutual trust. Now that BTS members are serving in the military, including Jungkook and Jimin, there is a void between them and in the hearts of fans. However, even within that limitation, they still showed each other attention. From short letters, hidden messages in songs, to small smiles when each other's names are mentioned in official military broadcasts, for many people, Jikook is a reflection of love that grows slowly, gently, but strongly. It is not love that should be announced in words, but that is felt in deeds. Not about labels, but about how they choose to always be present in each other's lives, even when the world changes dramatically. In the end, perhaps no one could conclude exactly Jikook's relationship other than themselves. But one thing is clear, whatever the name of their relationship, it is built on rare respect, trust, and affection, even in the harsh world of celebrities, and perhaps precisely because the two never tried to prove anything to the public. The relationship became more real. Although the public rarely gets a direct comment from Jimin and Jungkook's family about their relationship, a few small clues often lead the army to speculate. Like when Jimin's mother was once seen attending one of Jungkook's solo concerts, sitting in the same row with the rest of the family, smiling proudly when Jungkook's name was mentioned by the fans. Or when Jungkook's father was seen chatting familiarly with Jimin's brother backstage at the BTS Festa event. They may not have said anything, but their presence at those important moments seemed to convey one thing. They recognized and respected the bond these two young people had. The bond formed is not because of the demands of the entertainment industry, but because of the long process of understanding, loving, and growing together. When BTS decided to focus on solo projects, many thought that distance would separate Jikook. But the opposite is true. On various occasions, both Jungkook and Jimin always mention each other's names. Jungkook sings the song Letter that Jimin wrote secretly for the members, including himself. Jimin referred to Jungkook as the safest home during a radio interview in the middle of promoting his solo album. Behind the scenes, the two can often be seen sending support, even in the midst of a busy military. Like a short message encoded in lyrics or a sentence full of meaning in a letter to the army, Jikook is not just an idol couple made up by fandom. Jikook is the story of two humans who grow up together in the spotlight of the world, who still choose to take care of each other even when everything changes. In a harsh and demanding world like the K-pop industry, their warmth and sincerity is something rare.